Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. So this is me here with more fun physics content. In this video, let me try to know the problem that's what I can say related to the concept of elastic collision. Elastic collision, right? Let's suppose that if it is given in a question, we have the two balls. The balls I'm talking about here, they are called as billiard balls. Billiard balls, for me, they are just the soft balls. I can say the soft balls, okay? And the two balls I'm just considering here, they have the same, size, right? Let's suppose that the radius of one ball is r, radius of another ball is r as well. They are just identical through all respects, and radius of each ball is given as capital R, right? And moment they can collide, during collision, what will happen here? They are the soft balls and they will deform, right? Deformation will take place. Deformation will take place as a result of collision, and during collision balls will deform, right? And when balls will deform, basically potential energy will exist here. Potential energy will be and there as a result of the deformation. If question basically will ask me that when we are going to make the plot between the potential energy as a function of distance, right? How it varies with the distance from the centers of the two balls. If I will assume here the distance from the center of one ball is going to be smaller from to the center of another ball, right? Moment balls will collide, during collision balls will deform, right? And when the stage of maximum deformation will reach, during maximum deformation, what will happen here? Now we can presume that this r will tend to 0, right? This represents the case of maximum deformation. Now here, what's a good point in it? Look, now my point is here simply how the potential energy will vary with the distance. That distance we are talking about, it's distance from the centers of two balls. When deformation will take place, I told you as before, the potential energy will only exist, right? And it will be maximum due to the maximum deformation. The potential energy of interaction, it will be the maximum at the stage of maximum deformation. Maximum deformation, we can treat the point when the distance between the two balls is 0. Now we can start from here. Origin is a point where from we can start our measurement, because at this point every measurement is 0, right? Now if this is my the point where r is 0, and the potential energy, how I can guess it, what will be its value? So during the maximum deformation, I told you as before, the potential energy exists only during the deformation. When deformation will be maximum, what I will expect, simply potential energy will be maximum as well, right? Let's assume that this is a maximum point of potential energy, and right now when balls will try to depart, okay, when shape balls will regain their shape, right? And the stage will reach, this point basically represents the point when the two surfaces of the balls, they are contact, right? And the distance from the the center of one ball to the center of one ball, here r, to say simply it will be 2r in this particular case, okay? Now this is a case when balls will regain their shape, still there is a contact. And what will happen to the potential energy? As before I told you, potential energy will exist only due to the deformation, and deformation will it will decrease, and this point represents where when the balls will try to depart after the collision. Because the collision we are talking about here, it's elastic in nature. Balls must have depart after the collision. During the collision, their potential energy, it will vary look like this. And this point, I can safely say, this point will be the point where r is equal to 2 times the capital R, because it represents the two balls, their surfaces are in contact, and at this value potential energy will try to cease. And when r will be greater than when r will be greater than 2r, right? And this is a case where we can think the balls will depart from each other, and when r is greater than 2r, r will be greater than this value, potential energy will cease to have. Potential energy will exist only up to this, value of small r, that's 2 times the capital R, right? And it will be maximum when the center of one ball will coincide with the center of another ball, and then after it will just try to decrease, right? This is how we can think on this problem in this